Hi, welcome back. Wanted to talk a little bit today about fall gardening. I know I sit here August 25th, and today was the hottest day of the year, near 100 in Central Oklahoma. And I've been planting my fall garden since late July. I actually have starts inside to do that, broccoli and cabbage. A lot of things in the fall are direct sown for me. So let's take a little tour. Right now the garden is really blank. I've already ripped out a lot of summer crops and we need to start getting fall crops in them over the next 3 to 4 weeks. Well, actually 2 to 3 weeks. So let's take a look and then we'll talk about how I set it up, how I planned it. Excuse the appearance, I've been out here doing chores this evening and it's super hot. One of the hardest things for me coming into the fall is when to start ripping out the remainder of what I have in from summer left. My row of bell peppers are still really producing heavy, but I have a ton and I don't need any more. My family, friends and family have a bunch. So what's left will be harvested and given away to them. I'll freeze maybe one more bag. And I know it's tough to make that decision when to pull stuff out, when not to. But I'm at that point, I need the space for fall and I have enough put away. So it seems like a lot of effort to kind of waste a lot of stuff, but it's not gonna go to waste. I am actually going to, give it away. I'll find places to take it, but I need the space. The tomatoes, on the other hand, different story for me. I have, kind of slow that down a little bit for you. I have a bunch of tomatoes still setting fruit, and there's several plants that don't have any fruit sets on them at all. The flowers dropped off in this late heat wave, and I'm gonna need to go ahead and pull them out, and I'll plant in that space. So about half of my tomatoes that are left, and I'm gonna estimate it's 25 plants, have fruit sets that I will let continue to grow. The rest, we are going to go ahead and pull out this weekend. And they're still doing well, but I want the space. And it becomes an issue of space, effort, and do I want to prepare more space for fall crops? And for me, that process of preparing space to expand the garden doesn't just happen overnight. It's a drawn out process to do it organically. So I'll have more space for next year, and maybe I'll be able to leave these on a little longer. One crop you might not think about for fall, but I did, and I mentioned this in another video, is squash. This is yellow coconut squash. I did not grow it in the spring. I have such a squash bug problem that I decided not to grow it in the spring and try it in the fall to see if I can get past that life cycle a little bit. I've only done 6 plants just as a test this year, not taking up a lot of space for me, but if it works, I can plan on more for next year. Same thing with this row. This was actually Roma tomatoes, and once I had enough, I went ahead and pulled them. And I have bush beans planted in here, which I'll have enough time to get a harvest of bush beans, so that'd be the second succession of bush beans this year. They were in a different spot. And one thing we all know about bush beans or any legumes is they're nitrogen fixing. So I could bring some nitrogen back in and to the soil where a heavy crop of Romas were. So this will allow me to regenerate the soil, at the same time get another harvest out of this. So this will be a row of bush beans. Not a typical fall crop, but for my zone 7A, 7B, literally I can see the line that they drawn. It's about half a mile from here. So I'm on that line. So I'm pretty sure that I'll get a harvest off of these before we get really cold and the light diminishes enough where beans don't do as well. This blank row and I put new weed fabric on it, and go back and look at my weed fabric video, this had the stuff that I'll never buy again on it. So I ripped all that out, replaced it. This was cherry tomatoes, and this will end up being cabbage, which cabbage just started on the inside already. Started the seed starts the last weekend of July. Germinating going, no go in the ground probably the weekend after Labor Day. This year Labor Day is a little late actually, the way it works out with the first Monday. So about a week after that, I'll go ahead and put cabbage in the ground. I have a row here that I pull the weed fabric off to replace it with the better stuff. Some straw left under the weed fabric that did not break down over the summer. And it'll probably be another row of cabbage. So I want to do that in rows. It needs some spacing. The cabbage variety I got from Baker Creek will have nice large heads. I can make a lot of kraut and maybe sell some roadside as it moves on. This past weekend I planted sugar snap peas on this trellis. I had an early crop of them, and they turned out really fantastic once I can keep the deer off of them. I rotated cucumbers in here, put up enough pickles to last, and gave a bunch away and sold a few. And now I'm putting sugar snap peas back in here, which is a nice cool season crop, which will allow this to go ahead and utilize this space again. So for this trellis, that'll be 3 rotations in 1 year. This is expansion. This will be a lettuce mix. This plastic has been on here all season. It was added on here in March. So it's ground underneath here. I'm not removing it till probably Labor Day weekend. It'll be ready. No weeds. I can make rows, and I'll do 36-inch wide rows and do a lettuce mix that I also got from Baker Creek. I can fit 2 in here, and that'll be plenty for myself. This plastic's also been on all season. You see it's got a rip in the middle. That just recently happened. I will do spinach and beets, and that'll probably complete what I do this fall. Spinach, beets, lettuce, cabbage, oh, and Swiss chard. I will do a row of Swiss chard, and it'll probably go where the peppers are currently. And some overflow as I pull some of those tomatoes. Let's recap a little bit. I want to clarify something first. I was just thinking about it. Cabbage were started this past weekend. Broccoli has been started since the end of July. It's another crop I can do in the fall that'll transplant as a transplant. A lot of things are direct sown for me. Swiss chard, lettuce, spinach you can start inside, but it just does just as well to go ahead and direct sow it. The lettuce mix will be one of the few things I don't do with row covers. I'll do a 36-inch wide bed and plant the lettuce mix from Baker Creek. All my fall seeds did come from Baker Creek, except the broccoli. One thing about fall crops is its personal preference. There's no right or wrong. It is just, what do you like to eat? I don't like radishes very much. I won't grow any. You might love radishes. Grow as many as your heart's content. I really enjoy spinach. I can freeze it, I can put it up. I can use it all year. Until spring, at least, till I plant another crop of spinach. So there's no right or wrong answer to what you want to do with the fall. Go ahead and try it. I don't care, you know. You want to continue to grow, you can do it a small patch. If you're just burnt out with a gardening bug from all summer, chasing insects and bugs and disease and drought or excessive heat or too much rain, you burn out, try a small row. Go get a few seeds and pop them in the ground and see what happens. There's nothing to lose. A few dollars for some seeds. If you give up on it, you give up on it. But try it. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised that fall gardening is a little more pleasant than summer. When I'm sitting out here and the heat index is 103 and I am sweating and trying to keep everything going and harvesting and doing my thing. But again, this is for me in my zone. If you're further north, you're probably down to a fewer choices than I still have here in central Oklahoma. If you're further south, you have a wider variety of choices to grow this fall. It all comes down to your personal preference, what you want to grow for yourself, or if you have a small market garden like I've started here, to figure out what it is that works for you. And this is my first year, like I've said in other videos, this is my first year really expanding that market garden thing to try. So I'm trying a lot of different things. I'm experimenting with things to see what works, what doesn't work. I will tell you that some varieties I planted this year in summer crops, my jalapenos, I'm gonna buy that variety again. They did nothing, zero. So it's a trial and error, it's learning, and I continue to learn. Even though I've been growing stuff since high school, I continue to try to learn and grow and be a better gardener, a better steward of the land. So I appreciate that part of it. That's what I enjoy doing. The biggest lesson, or the biggest piece of advice I can give you is try. Try something different. I ordered Swiss chard, I've never grown it. And so I'm gonna try it, see if it works. I'm sure it will. As far as the leafy greens, it's one of the more forgiving from the research I've done. But then again, I don't know what kind of deer pressure I'm gonna get or insect pressure for that. It's unseen yet. And I will report and let you know. I'm gonna try a couple different deer fencing. I used some deer repellents in the spring for things they were getting on. With mixed results. If I was diligent and went out there twice a day, every day, kind of kept it off some of them, but if you didn't touch a leaf, they got on my sugar snap peas. But I had enough of them, they were able to eat theirs and move on. Beets I've grown. Beets are something different. Usually it's a spring crop for me, but I'm gonna try them this fall. And one of the reasons I haven't done it is because of deer pressure. If you look around, I mean, herds of deer on this property. So they will find me. And I will continue to fight that deer pressure. But that's just part of living out here. So thank you. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe, or don't like, leave a comment. Let me know what I can do better, what you enjoyed, what you didn't enjoy. I really need that feedback to help me improve these. Right now I'm filming on an iPhone with iMovie. I'm not investing in any fancy camera gear or editing software at this point. Thank you, have a great evening, great day. I appreciate it.